Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show, and I'm also an addiction recovery coach. As the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show, I want to share something with you, and let me be crystal clear. Imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You try to lift the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from opening the coffin. You bang on the lid to unsettle the dirt. Maybe somebody will notice and start digging their way down towards you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help. You know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are people who can help you standing nearby your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually using drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind that while you were abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose and take something away that Jesus Christ gave you, called life? And if that's not selfish enough, more selfishly, you take the life away from people that love and count on you most, people like your mother, your father, brother or sister, children, grandchildren, husband or wife. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be the person that I'm reading about on these index cards that waited and waited until it was too late. Pick up your phone and call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you I will help you take your life back. For your life is gone. People like Larry Geis, also an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, 516-458-2741. Larry Geis and I always tell people like you, doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters most is that you're here looking for a better today and a brighter tomorrow. Larry Geis will take you from addiction to recovery, from depression to happier times, from low self-esteem and raise your self-esteem. You can find him at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis, 516-458-2741. Folks, don't forget, when you go to bed at night, take those slippers off. Instead of putting them by the edge of your bed, put them under your bed. In the morning, get on your knees and look for them, and there they are. Retrieve your slippers. While you're on your knees, make it a time and a place each and every morning to speak to God. I call it an email. You're on your knees. Speak to God. Thank Him for your home, your clothes, your family. Thank Him for allowing you to wake up to another beautiful day, to see a beautiful stream like this and a waterfall. Because there's someone out there that can't do this anymore. Ask Him for guidance and direction. Ask Him for forgiveness and mercy. Make it a habit of taking your slippers off at night before bedtime, sticking them under your bed, and then retrieving them in the morning while you're on your knees. Give God a shout out. Then put your slippers on, stand straight up, stick your chest out, roll your shoulders back, and walk with God 24/7. Folks, I want to talk about 5 ways that you and I, can help prevent drug addiction and drugs getting into our community. These are 5 ways. Drugs are a serious problem, a problem that is getting worse in many areas of our country. A recent study released by Massachusetts Health Council found that while rates of murder and violent crime have actually been dropping in most states, addiction to heroin and opiate painkillers are on the rise and pose one of the greatest threats to the public health. Specifically, there was an increase of 10% in the rate of fatal opiate overdose between the years of 2011 and 2013. And the projections show that the rates likely will increase into 2014 and 15. What can you do in the face of such alarming trends? There are steps you can take to help curb the spread of drug abuse and addiction where you live. Get it taught in the schools. Schools are one of the worst points of contention in the drug abuse epidemic. There were young people are exposed to others their age who are using drugs, and they are often subjected to peer pressure to use. It's not uncommon to find that the drugs are even being sold in the school grounds. Contact schools in your area to find out what they are currently doing to educate students about the dangers of drug use and help them find good drug prevention education program, if necessary, to make sure that the students in your community are getting the information they need to make the right choice when the time comes. Encourage activities for young people. Boredom isn't the primary cause of drug use among teenagers, but it certainly is a major contributing factor. If more young people in your area have access to activities that they will find engaging, fewer will fall in the trap of drug abuse while just hanging around, killing time with their friends. Hobbies, sports, volunteering, or after-school jobs all have the added benefit of not only keeping teenagers busy, but also giving them a sense of purpose accomplishment. Positive feelings that serve to counterbalance the negative emotions that often lead to drug use. Spread the word. Don't be afraid to speak about the problem of drug use in your community. Whenever you have an opportunity, talk to those around you about how common drugs have become, about consequences of substance abuse and addiction, and about importance of having those people turn past the message along to other folks. It starts at home. While striving to make a big impact in your city, don't neglect what you can to make a difference within your own home. Your children will be far less likely to try drugs if you take the time to talk to them about the subject and make sure that they understand the complete facts and the dangers. It would be easy to underestimate the power of your words and actions when it comes to setting your children on the right path. Be that role model that they desperately need. It all starts at your home between the age of 0 and 18. I call it the chapters in the book of life. You are directly responsible for every chapter from 0 to 18. Every year represents one chapter. Don't miss out on chapters. Don't let some of those chapters, those 18 chapters, don't let even one or two become bad. Chapters, when the book starts, to chapter 18. You, my friends, are responsible for that. Set a good example at home. Keep in mind, although you might not notice it, other people are looking to you for example. This includes your children, their friends, and your co-workers, and even strangers you might meet on the streets. The things you say and do around other people tend to have an effect on their own attitudes and their own behaviors, though it may not always happen to you, but it can, particularly when it comes to drugs and alcohol. In this case, how you carry yourself and speak about it and let your children know about the dangers is how they will perceive how dangerous it really is. Try to set a good example of being happy, productive, and most importantly, drug-free. The fight against drug addiction is not something that you can expect to win overnight. But, however, by adopting the right attitudes and taking actions on a regular basis to raise awareness in the community, you, my friend, can make a considerable impact and perhaps even save lives. It all starts at home. It's the schools that need to educate our children. It's you setting the good example. Let me ask you something. If you smoked in front of your children, would you expect your children not to pick up on that? Of course they would, because they think if you're doing it, it's okay. If you curse in front of your children will do the same, because they're looking at you, the role model, the hero, as doing it. If you do drugs and drink, your children will do it. If you physically or verbally abuse your spouse or other people in front of your children will pick up. Their children have a monkey see, monkey do personality. If you, as their role model, does all these things, they will say it's okay. If you have to do any of the 4 things that I just spoke about, do them outside your home. Set an example. Write the chapters in the book of your 18-year children. In other words, from 0 to 18. Write every chapter. Every year represents a chapter. Let all 18 chapters include love, respect, honesty, compassion, etc. Don't let it include drug use, hate, violence. That's not the way to write the book in your kids' chapters. Chapters in your kids' book. Let today be the first day of a brand new you as a role model. It's never too late to change. Never. Most of us are examples of that. I'm an example of that. If you put your head to it, put your mind to it, and reach for God, all things are possible. The power of prayer is stronger than any king or president or emperor in the entire world. Let the power of prayer work for you. Send God a message each and every day at a certain time at a certain place. For example, an email in the morning retrieving your slippers. Stand straight up. Roll your shoulders back, stick your chest out, and walk with God 24/7, and your life will become better. I hope to God that you enjoyed this segment. I hope that we see each other real soon. I hope and pray that you have a sober day, a sober rest of your life, and may God bless each and every one of you.